Okay, so first I want to start by saying that we aren't saying that ISIS isn't a big problem right now. We're just saying that the way that we should approach it isn't to send in all of the troops we have, come out with all our guns out, and kill everyone who's Sunni Muslim. Yes, it is a holy war, but that doesn't mean that we could even, differentiate who is ISIS and who is just Sunni. What we need to do is use the special forces to identify the ISIS leaders and be able to take them down. That is what is in effect right now with the special forces that we have. We're using unmanned drones to try to identify these leaders, and in places that ISIS is taking control over and that they have a majority over, that is what we're using the airstrikes for. And my opponent also mentioned that ever since ISIS came to power, they have been recruiting a lot from the West. Jason Ditz, he's a reporter from the Midpress News, stated that ISIS has gained enormously from the U.S. U.S. and intervention in the Middle East, bolstering their recruitment dramatically across the world. This ground war would likely add to an influx in recruits, so then ISIS fighters can resist another American invasion. So pretty much this is saying that more troops will be sent. If we send more troops to the Middle East, it would only allow for ISIS fighters to arise, and it would just explode into a full-fledged war. Barack Obama, who did a report for CNN, he said that he is convinced that the U.S. Troops should not get back into another ground war with the Middle East. It is not in our national security interests and not necessary for us to beat ISIS. Also, Eric Bannon, again from the Fiscal Times, he stated that the U.S. has spent around $1.1 billion since mid-June on military operations in Iraq, which is around $7 million to $10 million a day. What this means is that it is really costly, $7 million to $10 million a day. That's a lot of money going into a problem that is a threat to us, but it's not necessarily our country's problem. It is a holy war. Representative from Florida, Representative Alan Grayson, he pointed out that Iraqi soldiers outnumber the Islamic State by more than 100 to 1. This just puts more into effect that if we were to equip them with the right equipment and weapons, and also kind of lead them into the right way of taking control of their own country, that 100 to 1, that's a staggering number. That means that if they really were to be equipped with everything and put their mind to it, they could take it down themselves. He also pointed out that we have to get past this bizarre notion that every time there's something in the world that we don't like, we bomb it. When it's our money and our blood, it's our decision, and now the Americans are saying no. Another quote from Barbara Lee, a representative from California. She stated that there is no military solution in Iraq to combat ISIS, and any lasting solution must be political and respect the rights of all Iraqis. I am pleased she is pleased that President Obama recognized this when he said that there is no American military solution to the larger crisis in Iraq. The only lasting solution is reconciliation among Iraqi communities and stronger Iraqi special forces. Also, another disadvantage of having increased troops in the Middle East to fight against ISIS is that intervention could set a negative precedent of engaging in armed conflict without official congressional approval. As you know, the president has limited authorization when it comes to troops, and so a full-fledged war would have to go through Congress. Also, trade and tourism sanctions would also be affected, and the U.S. would most likely have to send more troops in the next coming years. And there's also there will also be a guaranteed cutoff with the diplomatic relations with the Islamic State of Iraq if we were to intervene. And so just to reiterate that the main goal of the Islamic State, or ISIS, is that they want to tell their new members that they're going to keep fighting until they encompass the whole world. So that just makes it even more important that we use what we have now to go in and take the leaders out of power until it gets too big. Thank you.